The time is 6 p.m. Madam Secretary.
Piles,
Present.
Davis,
Here.
Kamal.
Present. Present.
Thank you. Kennard,
Excused.
McCarthy,
Tardy.
Wester is here, and Laster.
Present.
We
like
have
it,
a
is that my name?
quorum.
All right, can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Somebody over there.
Now we are at the acceptance of agenda. Be it resolved that the Board of Education accepts the January 13th, 2025 meeting agenda as presented.
Support.
It's been motioned by Laster, supported by Davis. Any discussion? Roll call.
Piles,
Yes.
Kamal,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Laster,
Yes.
Wester, yes, and motion passes.
All right, and now we are at the ceremonial constitutional oath of office. Trustee Kennard is excused, but she did do the necessary steps to be certified, so she's not present today, but we will go ahead forth with Trustee Kamal and Trustee Powles.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States. And the Constitution of this state. And that I will faithfully discharge the duties. Of the office of members of the Board of Education. Of Romulus Community Schools. According to the best of my ability. Then you raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this state,
and the Constitution of this state,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of member of the Board of Education
of office of the member of the Board of Education
of Romulus Community Schools
of Romulus Community Schools
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We are now at public comment.
I don't have any.
It is 2025.
Oh, nope. Oh, okay. No public comment. I just want to make sure. All right.
Run.
We are at the presentation part of the agenda, and we have a presentation from the RHS freshman class.
By herself? Where's the rest of the class? I know you're here to support her. That means you need to come up with her if you're part of it. I would hope so. Now, before we get started, good evening to you ladies. Thank you. And to everyone else, particularly the other students. It's very difficult to get up and public speak. No matter who you are, no matter how prepared you are, you're always going to be a little bit nervous. But when you have people that are with you, it makes you feel a little bit more at ease. And if you don't have anybody that's with you, always look at somebody in the audience. Well, not in this case because you're speaking this way, but with the board, look at somebody that's going to make you smile and that makes you feel like you're comfortable or they have a nice presence. So whenever you speak, if you're nervous, and you should be nervous unless you didn't prepare and you're overconfident, you look at somebody in that audience who's going to make you feel confident and comfortable. Please remember, nobody knows what you've written. Nobody knows it unless you go, oh, I'm sorry, I messed up. Nobody knows. We don't know what you're going to say, so just talk to us, all right? You don't have to read, just talk. And the board might ask you questions. But we're already proud of you because you're only in the 9th grade and you're standing up in front of everybody, and it's on video. Okay, there'll be no hate. If there's any hate, you let me know. We'll take care of it. So welcome to the Board of Education meeting 2025. You all are getting us started first, so thank you.
Good evening. I'm Layla Johnson, our freshman class president at the high school. So our freshman student council has just elected all of our officers. Today we have Madison Chambers, our publicity manager, and then Chanel Crawford, our advertising team. So now that we have just elected all of our officers, we're looking to start fundraisers so we can work hard now instead of senior year. That's it. Thank you.
That's it?
Yep.
All right, good. So now I can ask questions then. So if that's it. We'll let the board start if you have any questions. If not, I'm going to ask, certainly, because I spend time there, right? You know that. None?
I have a question.
Oh, thank you.
Trustee Piles?
What events do you need to fundraise for between now and graduation?
Prom for senior year. I don't know if there's any other ones doing like senior year, but those are the ones we're mostly aware of now.
Okay, let's stop there. Okay, let's think about in the next 4 years. The only event would be the prom? You all haven't thought about what other events you'd like to do? Don't wait for some other class and be like, well, nobody's ever tried it. Try it. Maybe that's what we want to have around here, is that somebody has some excitement to say we want to do something different. So don't just leave it at the prom. I would be so disappointed that in 4 years, that's all you did was the prom? 4 years. So nothing your sophomore year, nothing your junior year. And I'm not yelling at you. I'm just asking you. I'm challenging you. You've got to get kids involved. You've got to get your friends involved. Now, I'm going to ask you something then, okay? Because I sent out an email, not to you all, but to the adults. We're going to have a dodgeball game, the adults, okay? How about real dodgeballs? People that are my age know what those feel like when it hits. It's not those ones that you are used to. So we have 24 staff members that are ready to, they want to play. I said that we should make it into a fundraiser of some sort because I think kids would love to see some people get tagged. Others would not. But I said I needed to talk to student council. I said, because I'd want you to think about how we could do that to make it a moneymaker for you, not for us. We don't want the money. But I want you to have the entertainment because it's going to be fun. So would that be something that you might entertain? And if you did, what would it look like? I don't know if kids would like to pay for it, but maybe. $1, $2, maybe. Just think about it. I see you're thinking, would that be something? I don't want to come up with all the ideas.
That's definitely something we could do. We just have to figure out a way to make it turn it into a fundraiser.
I'd like to go against students, but because of the ball, those that are my age know what that ball. You all know that we grew up with that ball. We all know what that ball is, and you can't use those anymore. So we couldn't go against you there, but I thought that would be a great activity. You remember last year, you should have. It was the 8th grade and me versus Mr. Niedermeyer and I believe Mr. Edwards was there. I think you were there too, throwing against me and stuff like that. And we made fun of that. That happened to be fun. So if you can think of some ideas, we're always willing to try.
If you could turn it into a staff versus students game, you could pay for the students could pay to participate in the game.
Just can't use that kind of ball. I like to see students get stung sometimes. When I throw it, I love to see the sting. I like to see them jumping. It might be an idea. So the point is, try different things. Be willing to fail. If you make $3, it's more than you had before. So whatever you do, keep trying. If it's a fundraiser, you keep trying. There'll be plenty of people that will support you. If we know that you care, we're going to care. If you don't say that you care or you don't show that you're interested, then why should I care? So just keep that in mind. Anything else? I'll let you off the hook. I'll see you at lunchtime on Thursday.
Thank you.
Bye, ladies. Thank you. Thank you, big personality. You know who you are. Thank you. It's good to see you back there. Big purse is what I call her.
Next, we are at a presentation from PFM, a debt review and election consideration. Thank you.
Now, if I can explain to the audience, what you're about to hear is financial. I know we have some students that are waiting to go, and I wanted this to happen purposely. So I put him in front of you purposely because of what he's going to talk about. And this is for everybody in the community because we're about to do something that's life-changing for a lot of students, but there's a lot of misinformation out there already. We haven't even introduced it. But the goal is to make some things happen for the school district in the next 25 years so that this district keeps running and it's ready for the future. So this is a gentleman that I met in 2008. He's a University of Michigan alum football player, played for the Wolverines. I met him in 2008. We were in the Superintendent's Academy, for everybody to know. So we were training for these positions. He decided to go a different way and is doing his own thing, and he works with multiple superintendents. So many of us know him, and I know him because of my respect that I had from him in 2008. Finally got an opportunity to work with him and asked him to come and speak to us about what we're trying, this endeavor that we're trying to lead, or this endeavor that we're trying to seek, I guess. So without further ado, this is Brody Killian. For students, when he gets done, if anybody is brave enough to ask him a question, I would absolutely be so proud if you would think about it. You're on.
Thank you, Dr. Edmondson. I greatly appreciate that introduction. It's an honor to be here in front of you. And, you know, ladies, I'm nervous, believe it or not. And I've done this a bunch, and that's just part of it. And I hope that I can get through this as well as you guys did with your presentation. So what I wanted to do is just kind of give the board a recap of some of the work that we've done to this point, and then hit some of the highlights as it relates to, you know, you always need good people around you, and hit some of the highlights of the work and the opportunity ahead of you. So if we could go to the first slide. I don't have control of that. In 2024, the Board of Ed had worked closely with the administration on a number of items related to capital planning. The biggest one being that the Board of Ed approved the resolution regarding exploring bond financing. I think that was done back in January of '24. And since then, we've had a number of discussions around preliminary bond sizing, a facility assessment, technology needs assessment, and then the board also approved in October of last year the preliminary qualification process for a May of 2025 election. Since that time, we've been reevaluating some of the timing of that. The district continues to do their assessment work and review a number of the bond budget scenarios. And so in front of the board today is an action item which will be to approve an amending authorization of the preliminary qualification process for an updated bond vote in front of the community of August 5th of this year. So one of the questions that a lot of people might have is how did we get here? And so what we try to do as the municipal advisor to many school districts around the state of Michigan, and we work with a number of local villages, townships, you know, cities, counties, is to kind of break it down to understand some of the key concepts. What is leading to this opportunity today? And so typically it starts with this need. And for many of your peers and yourselves, you have a number of buildings that are aging. There's technology needs that need to be improved. That's a constant battle. And so your administration has been working with partners to conduct those assessments. Another key component to this opportunity is that we have gone through tremendous economic growth in this area and around the country, for that matter, in the last 10 to 15 years. And as I'll show you here in a slide, I'm happy to share with you that the Romulus taxable value has actually just this past year eclipsed the numbers that we had pre-Great Recession. Also, through the last 10 years or so, the district and its administration and board should be commended for their sound debt management in doing a number of refinancings like we do with our own home mortgages to make sure that we're taking advantage of interest rates when they drop, as well as refinancing the loans with the state of Michigan. We also had debt falling off here in the district, and we'll talk about some of those key milestones, as well as that loan with the state that I mentioned. If we could go to the next slide, please. This is a quick picture of the 25-year taxable value history for the Romulus Community School District. And you'll note that we've gone through quite a turnaround, and this is not uncommon for many of your peers. But the Great Recession saw your taxable value decreased by over 36% from a prior peak of 1.330 billion in 2008 down to 845 million in 2015, and we are now above those 2008 levels today. So it's been a great recovery. Part of that story is some of the new economic development that has happened here in the community, and another small piece of that is, and in particular for this year moving forward, is the Inkster tax base is now eligible to be captured for new bond opportunities. If we could go to the next slide. The other part of this story is how we look at the debt and repayment of the loans with the state of Michigan. And what you're seeing here is the historical millage rate for the school district over the last 25 years. And there's been a number of key milestones, in particular in the last 10 to 15 years, and those are highlighted here below, including a number of refinancings, but also a number of bonds have been fully paid off, as well as the recent complete payoff of the district's loan with the School Bond Loan Fund through the Michigan Department of Treasury. So you'll note here that when a district is borrowing from the School Bond Loan Fund, those red numbers here, or the red bars here, represent a borrowing, and then the yellow, as you can see below the line here, represents the mills that are going to repay the state. And as of November 12th of this past year, that school loan revolving fund balance was fully paid off. So congratulations on that key milestone. So if we could turn to the next page, you know, you have a convergence of opportunities, or the next slide, for those that are following along here. And so one of the things that any school district is looking at is, well, how can we put together a bond program that is, you know, taking into account our needs assessment, but also taking into account what is going to be most palatable for their taxpayers. And so historically what we found is that any time that you have the ability to reduce your millage rate for your taxpayers, you want to take advantage of that. But also if there's an opportunity for you to extend the existing millage rate so that you can produce a new bond without increasing your taxpayers, that's a wonderful win too. In the case of Romulus, you actually have both, and that's a rare thing. So because of the sound debt management and these other variables that I've just discussed, what is being recommended here with this long-term capital plan is to have the millage rate, if we go to the next slide, dropped from 8.25 mils to 7 mils this summer levy. And then the ask of the community will be to extend that millage out at 7 mils with a new bond. And that new bond is projected to generate approximately $160 million in new money that can be utilized for the district's critical infrastructure and technology needs. At this point, that's proposed for August of this year. And if we go back to the prior slide, I'm sorry, I should point out, what you're seeing here in this visual is the existing debt millage in maroon, and then what we propose the new debt millage will be out into the future. And what's key here is that it's an extension of the 7 mils. In the event that the community did not pass this bond, of course, that would reduce the millage rate further. And you can see that here in the difference between the gray and the maroon slides. We also make certain assumptions as it relates to taxable value growth, which is really important. The state of Michigan puts in guide rails and very specific rules as it relates to what we can use to calculate into the future. And so we're using you know, those guide rails here in our projections. So if I could jump ahead then 2 slides. This is a quick summary of what the bond issue is proposed based upon its current structure. This can be modified as the district continues to work through their process. We're proposing that this bond issue of $160 million would be broken into 3 series, meaning it would be sold in 3 pieces. The first series being done at the end of this year if it's successful, and then one in 27 and then 29. And as we continue to work with the district and their team on developing this, we'll be sure to make sure that we update this if necessary. So moving to the next slide, the big question that a lot of people might be wondering is, well, okay, this is great, you're gonna reduce my millage rate and then you're proposing to extend it at a lower rate. How much is this gonna cost me? Or, in your case, what is this actually gonna save me? So, based upon the current 8.25 mils, if you look at this first box, based upon the taxable value, which is approximately 50% of the home value, the market value, someone that, say, owns a house that's worth $200,000 in the market, estimated to have a taxable value of $100,000, that 8.25 millage rate costs them $825 a year, or about $68.75 a month. Under the proposed plan, with the millage rate dropping to 7 mils in July, you would see that millage rate reduced from $825, if you just follow it down here, to $700, which would be a savings of approximately $125 moving forward. Now, if the millage rate is unsuccessful, that could drop further. But, you know, we have a convergence of the district's need with the timing of this very unique opportunity of debt falling off, which is, and 7 mils is a critical number because that's where we are able to stay within the school bond loan fund. And in the event we had a dramatic drop in your taxable value, like we saw with the Great Recession, we would be able to go back to borrow from them if needed. But based upon our current projections, there will be no need to go back to the state's school loan revolving fund based upon our taxable value growth rates assumptions. So, what are your next steps? And what is, you could probably even say the broader community and district's next steps. Before you today is the amending resolution to move the election date to August 5th. That will give all of you, I think, the time you need to process this and administration to do their educational campaign and continue their work. And with that, we would schedule a preliminary qualification meeting with Treasury for March or April of this year. And then, like I said, we'll continue to work through the bond sizing and project priorities. And then in the future, the board would need to approve the preliminary PQ application, which would be in that March to April timeframe. And then ultimately, you would have to approve the ballot language, which would have to go in front of the community, and the filing deadline is in May of '25. And then you'd have your bond campaign, and then, of course, the election on August 5th. So that's kind of what's brought us here today, and I'm happy to answer any questions. And I looked at Ben because Ben makes me smile, because he's a good old friend. He's an old friend of mine and a good man, so.
I appreciate that.
Any questions from anybody?
Trustee Piles?
Thank you for that. That was very helpful. My question is, I know that we've heard about bonds that have dropped, or debt that's dropped off. Was that the 8.25 mils that's dropped off? Or do we have multiple debts at that rate?
Yeah, so that's a great question, and I think the best slide to describe that is on page 5. And so, on an annual basis, we work with the school district and their officials to help set their levy. In many districts, we help set their levy. And how we set the levy is based upon figuring out what the total revenues are needed to pay off the existing debt service. And in the case of schools that are borrowing from the school loan revolving fund, we also have to take into that as well. 8.25 mils is the aggregate number needed to pay off all of the existing debt. And you can note that as debt moves up and down, or as new debt's added on, or the key variable that's really driving a lot of this story here is one of the multipliers in that formula to determine how much revenue you need to pay back debt is taxable value. And so because of the taxable value growth here in this community has been so strong, that same millage rate, so 8.25 mils, generates more money today than it did back in 2008, as we talked about here in that visual, when you were at the bottom or the trough of the Great Recession. So, to answer your question again in another way, it is the aggregate of all of the debt. And so as debt falls off or you repay the state, those monies can generate revenue that you can then redeploy, or in some cases, people decide to pass it back to the community. In your case, you're gonna be proposing both.
And what is the, you said that in November of '24, the school loan revolving fund, that was paid off?
Correct.
So today, what is the current debt that the district has?
So right now, can, I don't have that here. So actually, I do have that here. Hold on. So. Slide here of all the outstanding debt. So as of right now, we're gonna focus on the debt that is related to the debt millage, okay? So there are 3 bonds outstanding. There's the 2019 refunding bonds, and then you have the 2021 refunding bonds as well. Our outstanding as of January 2nd is $28,885,000. We always look at that debt to see if there's refinancing opportunities, but none of that debt at this point is refinanceable. At this point, none of those bonds are callable. And then there's a small limited tax, so non-taxpayer backed. It's paid out of your general fund, and in this case, it was based on, it's attributable to the 2015 energy bonds, and that par amount outstanding is $2,710,000. So total, all debt for the district's $31,595,000.
31,595? And if we were to take out, if there weren't any more bonds, what is the date that this 31 million would be paid off?
That is, again, if we go back a couple slides here, or actually go the other way, I'm sorry. You'll one more back, please. Just that one. So that visual will show you that the final maturity on all of the debt is, I believe, May of 2029.
Okay, that's the maroon line, right? Okay, and that's May, May of 20,
And so we always
28?
like to look
That's
at the,
28.
yeah.
well, if you look at it's the 28 levy year. So on this particular graphic, you're seeing the levy year. So when you levy as a summer levy.
Oh, right, and then we collect it later,
you
okay,
collect, and then you make the payment.
sure.
The next, we'll call it the levy year. And that May 1, 2029, principal payment is in that levy, 28 levy year.
And what is the total amount that the district is able to borrow?
Well,
In addition, no, not including the 31 million, what is the total amount?
based upon, extending the reduced millage rate of 7 mills out with a successful August 25 election, the district would generate 160 million.
Right.
The district could afford more. I mean, they could do more based upon the 8.25 mills if they decided to do that. But I think the administration, along with the will of the board, is to do something that's more palatable to the community.
Sure, I guess let me rephrase my question. Is there a maximum amount that our district is allowed to carry in debt?
Yes, there is a maximum calculation, and you guys are well under that. And I can follow up with that calculation if that's
Okay.
okay.
And is that a standard calculation, or does it vary district to district based on?
It's a standard state guideline,
Okay.
and I can send that.
Okay, so there's no, like, risk factors or credit factors or nothing factors into that, just the formula?
Well, I mean, I think with any new bond program that's being considered, you have to weigh those risks. But as far as your, total bonding ability, you're not running into any statutory limitations. But what we will want to look closely at is your debt rating and how that could impact adding new debt.
Okay,
But because you're qualified through the school bond loan fund, which carries the state's backing in the AA
Sure.
category, your bonds are very marketable. As of right now, your bond rating is in the investment grade category, and I would anticipate it to stay there,
thank you.
but I'll follow up with that calculation.
Okay, thank you.
And just to be clear, so trustee Powell, you want to know the maximum amount that the district can carry in debt for him to get back to you?
Whatever factors that affect individual districts, any other factors, I'd just like to know what is the maximum. Not that we are, but I'd like to know what our maximum is.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Any other questions from the board? Mr. Killian, thank you so much for your presentation.
Whoa, where are the ninth graders going? Oh, okay, because I wanted them to see. We'll put them on the next committee. They'll find out tomorrow what committee they're on. That's what they'll find out. Was that it? Okay, so real fast for the students that are here. I remember being your year growing up. I never came to a school board meeting. But the thing that I'm going to say, what you just heard, that's big language, but you have to know how to do math. That's it. I'm not a math expert, but I can tell you and I can tell the community here. I know how to do mills. I know what mills, how that operates. Okay, if your house is valued, whatever your house is valued at, you take half of what it's valued at, okay? So if your house is valued at $200,000, that's $100,000. If it's $300,000, that's $150,000. If it's $400,000, it's for the students, not the adults. That's $200,000. Then your house, then that gets taxed. It's called what's taxed. That's what you must give to the school. So when you're getting books and stuff and computers, and you're like, oh, this is free. No, it's really not free. It's coming because your parents own a house, or if they don't and you rent, that looks a little bit different, but that's not for me to explain right now. So what I do is, he said 8.25 mils. So for every $1,000, that's $8.25 that you're paying in a tax. So if my house is valued, and I'm going to try to be real fast, if my house is valued at $200,000, and then it's assessed at 100? No, it's assessed at. Is it assessed or? I don't want to get the wrong. So we just take half of what your house is valued at, and then you times that by 8.25, and that's what you have to pay the school district. So in this case, I'm always amazed that it's $825 if your house is valued at $200,000. That's all you're paying the school, $825. So if you have 5 kids, all you're still paying is what? $825. If you have 10 kids, if you have no kids, you're still paying $825. And what happens is, what we're saying is next year or at the end of the summer, that number now goes to 7 mils. So that's $7 per thousand. So now to do all these things, we have all these ideas to make this school district better, okay? And it costs money. So now it's only going to be $700. So it was $825, now it's $700. So to the community, this is what I say, and there are rules for me, just so that we understand. There are rules for employees. We cannot, while we're on school property, endorse and say, this is how you should vote. I can't do that. All I can say is this is your option. You can vote no or you can vote yes. That's your choice. But now it's from $825 to $700. That's what you're paying the school district, depending on what city you live in. I live in a different city. I pay much more than that to my school district, much more, okay? And it all depends on your city, okay? So all we're doing is we're asking the community, we're telling them, you have the choice to move this district forward. We have some plans to move this district forward. We're asking you to support us in paying $700 per, or $7 per $1,000 of taxable value of your house. That's all I'll say. Just make sure you know math. That's the important thing. Let's go. I ran outside, so I'm a little bit cold, and I'll talk to you about that later.
All right, thank you.
Madam President, be it resolved that the Board of Education approves the January 13th, 2025 consent agenda as presented. Matters listed under the consent agenda are considered routine in nature by the Board of Education and will be acted upon by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items. If any member of the board or any citizen requests discussion of an item, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will become the first item of business under the report of the superintendent portion of the agenda. A, approval of the minutes of the Board of Education, December 9, 2024 regular meeting, December 9, 2024 closed session meeting, December 16, 2024 special board meeting. B, approval of the bills for payment as submitted by Dr. Maria Gistinger in the amount of $3,042,912.78, and C, financial statements for December 2024.
Support.
I'm sorry. It's been motioned by Davis, supported by Rogers. Any discussion? All right.
Davis,
Yes.
come on.
Yeah, yes.
Files,
Yes.
Laster,
Yes.
Lester Rogers, yes. Motion is approved.
Thank you. We are now at the report of the superintendent. Dr. Edmondson.
Thank you, thank you. And I want to thank the parents that have remained here. This is very important to me to recognize students. I'm in a student business. It's that simple. I will do anything for kids. I will fail for kids, period. I will try everything that I possibly can to do things that I think will have a major impact on kids. Sometimes it doesn't work, but I sleep well at night knowing that I'm going to put first kids and give them an opportunity to change their lives potentially. So I'm very excited. I need the handheld mic so I can get around. Thank you. Thank you. I guess I can be heard. So I'm going to try to, I'm not going to minimize this and say, let me rush through this. I would never do that for kids. But I'm going to say this. I started here in 2020, and when I got the job, I had some lady that kept sending me emails. I'm like, who is this person? And her name was Vicki McTall. I kept saying, why? Goodness gracious. Then she'd call. She'd email. Then I'm like, if I didn't email her back, she sent me another email talking about swimming. Swimming. And what I think is important is I grew up with a pool. I know how to swim. I'm not afraid of water. I enjoy water. I embrace water, but I know what it's like when kids are afraid of water. By the time they get to the 5th grade, many kids have been thrown in the pool, and they're almost drowned, and then they're done. They're done with water. So when Vicki sent me something, and that's Miss McTall right there, when she sent me this, I was excited. I didn't know who she was, but I was like, I like it. She's relentless. She's relentless. So I took her up on her offer. I met her. She was not an employee then. I'm going to just speed this up. Here we are in 2025, excuse me. We now have a swimming team, something we didn't have before. We had before, but then it disappeared, and now we have one. It's an investment that I believe in. It's an investment that she believes in. It's an investment that the board believes in, so much so that we put it into our summer school, too. When you go to summer school, if you're in a kindergarten through 5th grade, you have to get in the pool, pretty much. We've invested in terms of our elementary school. We now have an elementary swim program every month. This month is Hale Creek. I don't know who's next month, but we have another school elementary in February, March, and April. Our kids are going to learn how to swim. But we're here, and I'm here because we've done something that to me is worthy of recognition beyond a school board meeting. It's well greater than that, the impact that we've had. So we're here tonight to acknowledge and to support and to thank and to celebrate the students that are swimming. And for the boys swim team, so we have a boys swim team in middle school and a girls swim team, okay? The boys won the championship in the Western Wayne Athletic Conference. Huge, huge. Never to minimize the girls who got second place for the Western Wayne Athletic Conference. So we have some things for the kids today. I'm going to let them come on up so we can acknowledge them publicly. They're going to stand here. Come on now, don't be scared. This is for you. Like, are you kidding me? You need to stand up and let us show you who we, come on up here. So, before I even get started, you're going to see things that here. We have, see that, those there? We have these. They're already, Vic, are they already out there? Miss McTall, you come up here too. Please, give her a hand, Miss McTall. We have these because we've turned the corner in terms of swimming. We've turned the corner and we're turning the corner. I couldn't be more proud as a person of color, and I'm going to say that because I can't ever put it down. I can't decide that I'm not going to be a person of color. I am, and I know what that means. I'm so proud that we have students of color who are in the pool not scared, and winning championships and things like that. So keep doing it, okay? Keep swimming, okay? Keep practicing, and keep your focus. You're here for school, but this is great too. So we have these things that are going up everywhere, okay? You're going to see them not just here, but they're going up everywhere. So we wanted to introduce the students. Antonio, we'll start with you, and then we go down there. You can introduce yourself, what grade you're in, pass it on to God Love, and then Jonathan, and then John Tez. Okay, I thought it was Janasia. I already messed it up, but Janasia, thank you. And then Miss McTall. So introduce yourself. Look at everybody. Look at somebody to smile at. Remember that. When you grab the mic, find somebody to smile at, then talk.
My name is Antonio Smith. I'm in 6th grade, and I was born in Michigan. My event I like to swim is freestyle.
God love that. Cut the hair. Pass the mic. Come on, man. Grab the mic. Don't be scared of it.
My name is Godlove T. I'm an 8th grader in Romulus Middle School. My favorite activity about swimming is how it helps me and my body, how to present myself, and it helps how I feel inside, since my mom presently made me go swimming because of Coach Vicky. Coach Vicky is the one that really brought me here to this point. I would like to thank her for what she done for me as a person.
Follow that up. It's the younger brother. Follow that one up. I'm not going to. Yes, you can. Just speak into the mic and look.
Hi, my name is Jonathan T., and I am a former student at Romulus Bulldogs. The reason I got into swimming was because when the first time I came, I was scared of the water. But the more I came, the more I feel like the water was my friend. And my big brother here, Godlove, he didn't want to come for like a week, but I kept telling him to come, and our mom forced us to, so we had to go either way. But Coach Vicky actually showed us what was good about swimming and how it helps our body, and we started going more often to the point where even if some of us didn't come, me and my brother would come, and we would just practice.
My name is John Tez Coleman, and I am an 8th grader at Romulus Middle School. And some of the things I like at swimming is that I have my supporter, Miss Vicky's grandchildren, that taught me everything I know right now.
My name is Janasia Ashford, and I'm an 8th grade student at Romulus Middle School. And one of my favorite things about swimming is Coach Vicky, because she taught us how not to be afraid of the water and that we could do anything.
Wow. Well, I just want to thank each and every one of you because you're making a dream come true. Romulus will be put on the map in a very big way, and it started because of you all. You all made history for Romulus. I just want to thank you, Dr. Edmondson. You gave me a chance. You gave me a shot that no one know which way it was going to go. But you believed in me. And I want to thank you for the opportunity to be a part of Romulus at this time in my life. I brought my daughter on, Talisa. She's the assistant coach right there. And I have my granddaughter, which I asked her to come to Romulus because she has skills in the water, and she's been swimming since she's been 3. So I just want to thank each and every one of you who've gave me support and believed in me, and knowing that anything is possible if you put yourself into it. Thank you. And I don't know.
And now, God Love is going to speed this up. God Love on behalf of. We'll let Talisa you.
Oh, just quick. I just want to say thank you, everybody, for believing in my mom and her dream, because at the end of the day, she's always happy walking into Romulus High and always, light up when these kids come in. So thank you, you all.
So we'll start with God Love. We have some presentations to give and some gifts to give. I want to thank the 2 principals here, Mr. Niedermeyer for STEAM and Mr. Van Hooks for the SLI or for the middle school. Thank you for your leadership too, both of you two, help us move that school forward. So we'd like to present this to Miss Vicky, and we'd like her to open it. Here you go. And we're going to go to her daughter. We will have an award in front of all the entire school. In the middle school, I believe it's the end of this month, maybe, or the beginning of February. The beginning of next month, they will be honored in front of everybody. And we have the trophies. They're here. We're just not going to give them to you today because we want the kids to see it. So open that up, please. Frederick here, can you do that? Lisa, please. Yes. And then we'll have something for all of you. I made a mistake. That's all I'm going to say. I'll live with it.
All right. Ooh. Ha! That's what we're talking about.
More.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome, right? That's awesome.
Keep going.
Okay.
Sorry, but
Ooh, thank you.
Oh my God, yeah. Oh, I'm with that, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm gonna
Oh,
prance.
look at the babies.
Oh, hold on.
This is really
stuff in the offering in there, George. This is his. With his name. Yours.
I said 6.
Jonathan. Open it up. We want you to open it, man. Open it up. I want to see what's all that's in there.
Oh my
Particularly for the
God.
guys that won. She's not.
Oh.
That. Keep going. I didn't get a picture of you in the pool. So for the team, they get the winning team. They get a blanket. They get their own mug. Engraved in their name. A book bag, same thing. And those that I was able to capture in the pool, they get their own. I need to see you in the pool. I didn't see you in the pool. I need a picture of you. So I'll work it out. I messed up on the size. I'll fix it. Listen, I didn't know. They needed to do what size? So I just threw out. I'll get it fixed. Thank you so much for everything you do. For the community, I want you to know, and the parents, thank you so much. For our parents back there, I see you. Thank you so much for having your kids stick through this. Did you want to, is there anything you need to do?
If there's anyone who wants to congratulate them on social media, I'll be giving you guys in the back on video if you want. You guys, actually, I can do it now.
With the parents. Sweep out of here, we're going to the next thing now. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. Keep up. You better be in there next year. You hang in there, all right? You hang in there, all right? I'll talk to you when I come and see you at the school. All right.
Thank you very much.
No, that's mine. They have big ones. They each have one in their bag. And those are mine, unless you want them in your office. Yes.
This is her right here. This is not her.
Who is that?
That's the girl from Thursday.
Oh, well, this one is.
This
Yeah.
is her.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, I'll fix that.
Okay. No, because of the camera.
I'll fix it.
Okay.
No problem. Thank you. All right, we will continue with the board meeting. I want to thank our board members for allowing that. We're always going to celebrate kids, and that's a promise to parents and everybody else. I'm always going to celebrate the kids, period. And we need to celebrate the kids, okay? If we don't have them, we don't have Romulus Community Schools. So thank you, and thanks to our parents. Now we're going to go on to the next thing. So it's Board Appreciation Month. I don't know who came up with that, but somebody came up with Board Appreciation Month, but I'm glad that they do. So I'm going to start with the Wayne County Regional. I wanted to sit here so that I can look at you and I don't have to do it there because this is for you. It's not for them. This is for you. Wayne County Regional Educational Service Agency, which is called Wayne RESA. Local School District Board of Education Recognition Resolution, January 2025. Whereas education is essential to the future of the 43 communities across Wayne County, as well as to the prosperity of our state and our nation, and the boards of education that represent the more than 260,000 students across Wayne County play a vital role in providing high-quality education for each student attending their schools. And whereas these dedicated public servants demonstrate an unwavering commitment to their responsibilities, voluntarily contributing countless hours of service on behalf of the students, parents, and educators, and community members of Wayne County, making thoughtful and informed decisions on policies, programs, and resources that affect the quality of education. And whereas Wayne County School Board members, as local citizens, exhibit exceptional leadership and vision, advocating for the needs of students in their communities and engaging with policymakers in Lansing and Washington, D.C. And whereas Wayne County School Boards understand the importance of ensuring access, opportunity, equity, and excellence in education, and they are dedicated to advancing student achievement and well-being while ensuring school remains safe, supportive, and inclusive. And whereas the mission of public schools is to meet the diverse educational needs of all students and empower them to become informed and productive contributors to society and an ever-changing world. And whereas the state of Michigan and the State Board of Education have declared January 2025 as School Board Recognition Month, providing an opportunity to celebrate the commitment, passion, and resilience of school board members. And whereas School Board Recognition Month highlights the champions serving on Wayne County Boards of Education who oversee pre-kindergarten through 12th grade and beyond, preparing students for success in a globally competitive society. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Wayne County Regional Educational Service Agency Board of Education, in honor of School Board Recognition Month, recognizes and celebrates the valuable contributions and exemplary leadership of the Wayne County School Boards of Education, presented and adopted this day of December, 18th day of December 2024 by the Wayne RESA Board of Education. It's from the Wayne RESA Board. So
Thank you.
that's from them. But for me, I just wanted to say this is a new board. I know I can sit down in a second, but it's not the old board. And that means we don't do the same things that the old board did, okay? Good or bad, okay? You just don't. This is a new board, and sometimes we'll be brought into, well, you all did. That's a different board. We have a newly elected board. We are a new unit together, and some of the things that I'm hoping for is unity, truth, servant leadership, transparency, and order. Everything else after that is a bonus. But again, I would say unity, truth, servant leadership, transparency, and order. I believe that we can get this thing done. We can move the district forward together in a unified manner. It doesn't happen if we're disjointed. It doesn't happen if you're talking about me or I'm talking about you. That's not going to work. Let's just stay positive and move the district forward. We have a lot of things to do. And, you know, for me, I'm at this age now where I can see the end in sight, finally. I can see an end in sight, and I know when I'm ready to step away. I don't need to share that, but I know when I'm ready to do it. I'm not ready yet, but I think with this board, I'm a little bit closer to getting the things accomplished that I wanted to get accomplished in my tenure, and then I can walk and move on with the rest of my life when that happens. I'm not there yet, but I'm very excited. I'm very excited about the presidency. You've done an excellent job with the prior board. Now you have this board, so we can't relax and be all excited about what we did last year because we have a new board. I'm excited about Ms. Kamal coming on. You should be a little bit nervous. No need to be. You're going to make mistakes. We make mistakes. We don't need the gotchas. No gotchas. Okay, when you're in leadership, it's a harsh reality that there's a lot of things that happen that just aren't good when you're a leader. One of them is isolation, where you feel isolated because you're a leader. You're afraid to make mistakes. It is what it is. It's all right to make mistakes. Let's just not make long-lasting ones, okay, that impact all of the kids. So on behalf of, oh, where's Eve? Okay, my bad. I didn't want you to see what I got you. So we have some things in the back of my office. Can you grab those? And I just want to thank you all for your support, and I hope that I have your support moving forward. I'm not perfect. We already know that. That's an easy one to decide. But I'm not perfect, but I'm always going to try to move this district with integrity, move us forward. I put kids first. Okay, I do care about finances, but I'll put the finances out to move this district forward. Have to spend money to get some of the things that you want. We do. We're going to risk take. I believe that you have to risk take to move this district forward. I am not cool with the narrative that we've had. I want a new narrative, and I'm working hard to get this new narrative. So on behalf of my team, I love my team. On behalf of the entire school district, that means parents, the taxpayers, community members, that means the cabinet, that means the teachers, and that means our support staff from maintenance to custodial. I'd like you to open it. If the kids have to open it, you need to open it too. Just want to see, and I want to thank you. Got you one too. And it's embroidered. Nobody can take yours, huh? Nobody can take yours.
Oh, you put our names on it. Thank you.
Names on it. Appreciate working with you.
You know, my son would try to snatch it.
No, it's not.
I thought it was going to be changed.
Welcome. No pictures of you in there. No. I would have put one of me like that. Ah! No. So it's just a brief token, a small token of, or a small gesture. There's a lot of work that comes with that mug. There's a lot of work that comes with that book bag. There's a lot of work that comes with that blanket, okay? You're underpaid. This is a volunteering job, really. You get a little stipend, and people want to talk about your stipend. But you know what? You work harder than that stipend, okay? Don't let anybody tell you that you don't. I also want to thank my team. As I said, I know it's board appreciation. I thank them because they take all the questions. They take all of the bullets. When we don't do stuff, it falls on them. It falls on me. I just want to thank them for helping move this district forward. And then we're going to try to move this district forward in 2025 and go on to some great, great outcomes for kids and the community. I think we all deserve that. All of us deserve that. So continue the great work, and I'm really looking forward to working together as a team. So thank you, and let's get this one off to a great year.
Madam President, I'm sorry, I move that the Board of Education accept the local school district Board of Education recognition resolution as presented by Wayne County Regional Education Service Agency Board of Education.
Support.
It's been motioned by Powles and second by Rogers. Any discussion? Roll call.
Piles,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Kamal,
Yes.
Laster,
Yes.
Rogers, yes, motion is approved.
Great. So now this is off script. I'd like to introduce, and I'd like them to come up so that you can at least now put the name together. I'd like to introduce our new interim director of the Teaching, Learning, and Professional Development Department, and that would be Ms. Janelle Edwards. Please come up, Janelle. Very, very excited. It will be a seamless transition. She didn't know this, but I'd like you to take 2 minutes to talk to the board just about what your vision is, and then you will be followed by our new athletic director who will be doing the same. So I'm going to give her about 2 seconds to prepare as well. So we'll start with you. Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for your trust and your partnership.
Oh, absolutely. We want to see what you got. Got to see what you got. I know you can do it. You're good.
Absolutely.
You're good.
I am looking forward to continuing to empower our teachers and support student success. It is a privilege, and I am honored to serve in this capacity in a district that has profoundly shaped me personally and professionally in my journey. So, again, just thank you for your trust as we want to continue to work as we move this district forward. My vision, I am going to announce my vision. Of course, we're going to continue to work as a team. TLP has been working very hard since last week on developing our team vision. So we'll put that out, and everyone is aware of our vision as we move the district forward. Thank you.
Thank you. That guy. Maybe she can help you with your fantasy football selections. At this time, I'd like to introduce Ms. Jerisha Obi, who is our new athletic director. We're very excited about her being here, too. Going to give her a minute or two just to share briefly, get us excited for a second.
Hello, everybody. Dr. E for putting me on the spot. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. There'd be more of that.
I'm the newest district athletic director. Excited to be here. I am in my 6th day of work, and I just want to cover a couple things that I value. And I talked about this when I first got the job, and we've been hitting the ground running. But a few of my values are first, integrity first. I mean, as a veteran, that's what we live by. That's what we go by. Second is service before self. I think that's one of the biggest ones because we're in this job to serve the student athletes. I'm in this job to serve not only the student athletes, but the coaches also, and everyone that's in my corner. So integrity, service before self, and third, excellence in all we do. So if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do an excellent job at it. We're gonna do the very best that we can. So I'm gonna do the very best that I can with the support of Dr. E, Mr. Brock, you all on the board. And like was said earlier, I'm gonna share my vision moving forward. So stay tuned for the vision. Thank you all.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, I'm going to conclude my report, and then I will go meet with those parents real fast. But James Whiteford, you better be ready because you just saw what they did. So we're going to have the esports coming up. So you got about 3-4 minutes to prep. I know you're already prepped. So for everybody, I'm going back around to just talk to the kids and their families. So you can continue the meeting. Thank you.
Sometimes he keeps going, so I didn't know he was really done, so I apologize. All right. We now have the great Kevin Brock coming up with the report from the Director of Human Resources.
Madam President, thank you. I don't have a report this evening other than to, I have a motion listed under my report. But I did want to have Mr. Killen come back up because he does have the answer to some of your questions that you asked and kind of explain a little bit under my report. So I said I would ask him to come forth and have that conversation real briefly, if that's okay.
Yes, and then if you don't mind, before you leave, to just go over how it swaps out that controversy over the May. Okay.
Absolutely. Mr. Killen.
Thank you. Well, I'm back, and I have an answer to your question. So, the bonds that are backed by the taxpayers, that are included in the 8.25 mils, do not count against your debt limit. I should have explained that earlier. So, when we talk about your legal debt limit, the calculation is 15% of your SEV, which, quick math, is somewhere in the $270 million range. But because your proposed new bonds are qualified through the School Bond Loan Fund and backed by the state of Michigan, those do not count against that debt limit. So you're not going to bump up against that. And then as far as the potential of the rating impact, that's something that we'll look at closer as we, there's a number of factors that go into your credit rating. But we do not anticipate this additional debt, given that you've had other debt fall off, is going to have a material impact on that. But it's something that we'll continue to look at closely with your administration.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
How much of that 31 million that you said that you have remaining, how much of that is backed by the taxpayers and not counting for total debt? Or is all of what's taxpayer backed falling off now?
There's still the 31 million that's outstanding. That was that's all included in the 8.25 mils. Okay. And all of that debt is backed by the state of Michigan. It's School Bond Loan Fund qualified, so it is not inclusive in your debt limit calculation.
Thank you so much.
Except the energy bonds do.
Yes.
Okay, but not the voter-backed debt.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Okay, and I want to thank, I've been doing a lot of work with PFM. I've worked with PFM in the past. I want to thank Brody. I've not worked with Brody up until this point, but Brody has been awesome to work with. PFM has been great to work with out of his office. Prior to my life here, I worked with Carrie, who is also outstanding. But Brody's a great addition to the team, so I want to thank Brody for being here this evening, answering all the questions, getting the information that this board so deserves for itself and for the community. So, Madam President, you wanted me to clarify the motion, is that correct?
Yeah, so we had a motion that we voted on where it said May, and because of all the new changes, we discussed how this kind of supersedes what we're doing now. It takes that away, so it's just not left on the table where board members think we voted for something and then it's still there.
Yeah, so in light of rescinding the most recent motion, what we did is this motion amends the most recent motion. And what we really did is we sat down as a group and a committee, and Brody was a part of that as well, as a cabinet and a group with our legal consult, we've been going at this, I think, fairly slowly. I know it feels like it's kind of fast, but we've been working on this somewhat since January of '24. And we didn't want to rush the last few steps getting to May. So in order to do our due diligence, in order to make sure that everybody is educated and everybody has what they need, we want to move this election to August instead of May, which gives us more time to do our due diligence, not just with you all, but with our subcommittees, as well as the public, so the public understands what it is that we're asking for, and that they are educated so that when we go to the polls, we have educated voters voting on the bond. So that's the reason for this amendment, and not a recension of the previous motion, but an amendment to the motion. The motion you have before you tonight is just an amendment stating we're moving the election from May to August. So thank you.
Thank you for that.
Madam President, resolution amending authorization of preliminary qualification process. A regular meeting of the Board of Education of Romulus Community Schools, County of Wayne, State of Michigan, was held in the school district on January 13, 2025 at 6 p.m. The meeting was called to order by President Laster. Present members Kamal, Rogers, Laster, Davis, and Piles. Absent members Kennard and McCarthy. The following preamble and resolution were offered by Member Davis and supported by another member in a minute. Whereas at the October 28, 2024 meeting of the board adopted a resolution authorizing the superintendent, with the assistance of the architect, board counsel, and municipal advisor, all as designated therein, to move forward with a PQ application to the Department of Treasury for the issuance of bonds of the district to finance building and site projects developed as a result of the district's facility review. And whereas the board originally targeted a May 2025 election for the electorate of the district to consider the approval of the bonds, and whereas the superintendent, upon advice from the architect, bond counsel, and municipal advisor, has recommended that the district instead target an August 2025 election to allow the district more time to further develop the list of projects and more fully inform the residents of the district about the projects and the bonds. Now therefore be it resolved that 1, the resolution authorizing preliminary qualification process approved by the board on October 28, 2024 is hereby amended to target an August 2025 election on the bonds. 2, all resolutions and parts of prior resolutions insofar as they conflict with the provisions of this resolution be and the same hereby are rescinded.
Support.
It's been motioned by Davis, supported by Rogers. Any discussion? Roll call.
Davis,
Yes.
Kamal,
Yes.
Piles,
Yes.
Laster,
Yes.
Rogers is a yes. Motion is approved.
Thank you. We are now at an FYI.
The undersigned, the resolution has been adopted. The undersigned duly qualified and acting secretary of the Board of Education of Romulus Community Schools, County of Wayne, Michigan, hereby certifies that the foregoing is a true and complete copy of the resolution adopted by the Board of Education at a regular meeting held on January 13, 2025. The original of which resolution is a part of the board's minutes, and further certifies that the notice of the meeting was given to the public under the Open Meetings Act 1976, PA 267, as amended. Ursula Rogers, Secretary.
Thank you. Just for the board, there are rules, okay, and I'll make sure I share those. There are rules for me in particular, I'm an employee, but it's going to be extremely important to get the facts out, okay? I've already been in the community long enough to know how things move in the community, and things move fast, and next thing you know, people think that's the truth. It's not the truth. I am absolutely going to be the face of this project, okay? I hope that I have your support and that we go out and we just tell the truth, okay? That's all I care about is tell the truth. If the voters don't want it, that's on them. But we're going to tell the truth about what that looks like, and you already have an idea. The tax goes down, not up. So anybody that's saying otherwise, that's not the truth. You've just heard it. It's going to go down and not up. So that's a hard sell. That's an easy sell to me. on that one. But again, there are rules. There's committee. We got community members for sure. Where I don't have yet is some of the staff yet because I sent it over the break. But we're going to have that. We do have some staff members that want to participate, and they live in Romulus because that was important to me. I need the people that live in Romulus to know what's happening in Romulus, okay? And we all know what happens if you lose your school district or if your school district has no vision. I don't need to talk about that, okay? When you don't have a vision, the people perish. It's just that simple. I have a vision, ready to continue to move this district forward, and I will be out there working hard on behalf of the students and the families that trust me to move us forward. So thank you again for supporting that. And Brody, Killian, thank you so much. You know, I was laughing. In 2008, we didn't have these. We didn't have these, but we both recognize what these are now. So it's nice growing old together, man. It's great to work with you, too. Thank you.
Just making sure I was clear.
You're clear. Thank you.
We have a FY esports update from Adam Dennison, who is the director of technology.
Good evening, board.
Good evening.
It's nice to see all of your beautiful smiling faces this evening. Speaking of visions, just a little bit of a recap. When I first took the position, one of my visions was an esports program for Romulus Community Schools. And just to remind everybody what that is competitive gaming for students that will compete with other districts around the state. There are over 70 plus schools right now that are competing. Students can earn scholarships, not just for gaming, but for IT, shoutcasting, all kinds of things regarding technology. The room has been built. We have a coach who is here today with us. James, if you could come on up, Coach Whiteford. He will kind of update you on how the program is going as far as growth, student engagement, and where that's headed. Coach Whiteford.
Good evening. My name's Mr. Whiteford. So we have 20 plus students that regularly show up. That number fluctuates with whatever might be going on. We're very flexible. If a student wants to be part of the football team, wants to be part of another athletic team, they are encouraged to do so. Just give ample notice that that's what you're doing. The expectation is excellence. So we look for academic excellence and behavioral excellence first. If that's not what you have, then we're going to work on that. I work very closely with the team that runs Renaissance at the high school, the after-school program that does the tutoring. I make sure that my students are either there or they have good grades. Those are their options. And once they get out of Renaissance, if their homework is not still turned in and their grades aren't good, then we have a special table where they sit and they work on their homework there while all of their friends play video games. And I am a teacher in the district. I work here. I'm at the middle school, 7th grade special ed. So I try to support them as much as possible, and I tell them all the time, what I don't know, I will get you an answer to. And we're very physically active. We do some physical activity at the beginning of every practice, and then we sit around and we'll have a round table talk where we sit and we look each other in the eyes and we talk to each other. The entire program is built around breaking the stigma of esports athletes and people who play video games in general. And I feel we've done a great job. We're already in talks with some college programs to do some campus visits and have them come out and come talk to our kids and see what's available to them.
Any questions? Of course, Ms. Piles.
Question, yes. Thank you for this. When you talk about competing, will we be competing with other districts throughout Wayne County or other, like, ISD schools that have this program, or how will those competitions work and when will they start?
Yeah, so we'll be competing in the MyCEF State League, which is teams from districts all over the state of Michigan. We've competed with teams from the very tippy top of the UP to teams out by like Grand Valley, out that area. We compete with teams all over. The state championship is at the U of M Flint campus every year. So that's where you have a meeting of the minds, so to speak, twice a year. So
And is this offered then after school? It's not an elective, is that?
yeah, this is after school. It's Monday through Thursday from 3 to 5.
Thank you.
Yeah, of
Thank
course.
you very much.
Yes, thank you.
I have a question. How come you don't have make kids have the commitment? Why do they get to come and leave and come back instead of saying, like any other thing, you make the commitment, you're here. You don't make the commitment, you're off. Just curious.
No, absolutely. The understanding there is if you want to go be part of the football team and you're missing practices, or if you want to go be a part of whatever other team, the understanding is that you don't have your varsity spot. You're still welcome to be part of the esports team, but you're not a varsity athlete at that point. You're still welcome to come and participate and be a part of our organization, but you don't just walk into a varsity position and you get to hold it. They're encouraged to go be active because I come from a conventional sports background, and I think esports is a great place to be and a great place to learn those soft skills that you would learn in athletics, conventional athletics. But it's certainly no comparison for the activity.
What do you see in terms of growth? Since you're the facilitator, is that what we call it? The facilitator? What do we call that? You're okay, coach. So you're the coach. You tell me, 2 years, what's it look like?
I can touch on that a little bit right now.
2 years.
In 2 years?
Yeah, where are we?
Well, that's
Speaking of on the spot.
No, absolutely. That's actually we have, so it's going to expand. Obviously, we have 12 computers right now. We're in the works. That's where
It's already expanding before we even started competing with other districts. We've got so many kids that we don't have enough PCs, desks, and chairs for everyone. So I've got another dozen on the way right now before we even started competing.
And in terms of expanding and becoming something that is taken more seriously within the district and at large. The whole point of us being active and teaching those soft skills, and it's not just a bunch of kids sitting in a dark room playing video games for 2 hours, is because that's not this whole point. The whole point is to learn those skills, is to be active. It's to still be proud of something, be proud of wearing Romulus, wearing the badge. I'm currently in works on making jerseys that we're going to be wearing, and they're expected to wear those on game days like you would for a conventional sport. So the expectation is that it becomes and operates just like a conventional sport in that way. And the hope is that it's taken seriously and it's not just viewed as video games for a couple hours with your buddies. It's a place where you compete. I've gone to the state championships with other teams. I've taken them. We finished as high as second in the state of Michigan on a number of occasions.
Just last year, right?
Yeah, I finished last year in the fall, second place and the third place, and then in the spring, 2 third places. The expectation is excellence, but it's the soft skills and it's those academic excellence first, and then I'll get into game skills. Then I'll worry about your ability to compete at that X level and focusing on college.
Next, tell me about the diversity. Is there?
Is there diversity within the room?
Yeah. I mean, in terms of, yeah.
I
know the answers. I already know the answers. I'm asking you so that you can share with everybody else.
Yeah. So there are students of every identity, male, female, every person of color. We have students that are at the top of the bracket as far as academic achievement. We have students that are struggling academically but are working their way up. And esports is a great motivator for them to be there. And I have quite a large number of special ed students. And every student, every person is welcome to be there no matter what. I sit down, I have a conversation with every new member of the team. It's no profanity of any kind. Obviously, we're at school. It's a school-sanctioned program. The academic excellence part that I talked with all of you about. And then it's acceptance of everybody. There is no discrimination. We play video games. We're here to have a good time. We're here to compete. This is a team sport. I don't care what you think about anybody else. They belong here just as much as you do.
Appreciate that.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we are at the report of board subcommittees. Okay, well, I guess I'll go. Go ahead.
Madam President, the policy committee will be meeting sometime prior to next meeting. We're just working on the finishing touches of adding all the updates from Miller Johnson on policy since November 2021 up until the recent update of November 2024. We've all compiled it into a document. We just have to go over and make sure everything's in order.
Copy that. Well, I have passed out, I've created some new subcommittees. I've moved some things around, and I've moved some school assignments around, so you have a letter with your information. For time's sake, we'll go over that at the next meeting, but you do have your information there. And look forward to the policy. Okay. Report of board president, I'll be quick. I want to thank Layla Johnson, Madison Chambers, and Chanel Crawford from the freshman class. I want to thank Mr. Killian for his presentation. I want to thank Coach Vicky, her daughter, her granddaughter. The way that she looked at them with admiration as they were speaking, my lashes almost, they normally come off at the end of the meeting, but they almost slid down because I was just tear. But it was just, to see someone that you hear a lot of people say it's for the kids, I'm doing it for the kids, but it was just very, her actions speak louder than her words, and every kid had something to say about how she has touched them. So I just looked to see that program grow. So for Frederick Antonio Smith, who was born in Romulus, Michigan, Godlove T, Jonathan T, Jontez Coleman, and Janasia Ashford, I think that was how she pronounced her name. Congratulations and thank you to the parents, because that's commitment, that's dedication, that's an extra thing added on to what you already have to do. So I want to commend all the parents for what they do. Thank you, Dr. Edmondson, Eve, and the team for the gifts and just for the pictures. I mean, I've talked to Dr. Edmondson over break, and every time I call him, I'm at Walgreens just shuffling stuff around. So, I mean, this is hard work. I mean, it's not just, you do a lot of stuff already, but just to add that on, and I'm a frequent person at Walgreens with pictures, so I know how tedious it can be. So thank you for that and the time spent doing all of that for the students and the staff. I want to welcome Miss Janelle Edwards. I know we're in good hands. Congratulations and thank you. Miss Obi, looking forward to seeing you in action and hearing the vision, but congratulations and welcome to the team. I like what you said about integrity, serve the student athletes and the coaches, and I'm just excited to see where the program is going to go under your leadership. Mr. James, I call you Mr. Viral. I know we haven't met, but on social media, your video, it did numbers. It had a lot of comments, and it had a lot of people talking about it. So I'm just excited to hear all students are, represented there and just to see where that program goes as well. And I want to thank my board members and everyone for sitting through the presentation and coming out and supporting. So thank you so much. And we are at report of the team. Who would like to go first for the new year? All right, well, Miss Kamal, get you going. Since he's thrown everybody on the spot, we'll throw you out. So you can go ahead and speak, or you don't have to. Well, welcome. Nothing today?
Hi.
Okay. Hey. All right, well, welcome to the team. You made it through your first meeting. Congratulations. All right, Secretary Rogers. Good night.
Good night. I just want to thank everyone for coming out. Tell everybody Happy New Year. My voice is about gone. Been ill. But the presentations from our ninth graders, that was so amazing, because it's a lot to get up in front of people and talk. And we'll work with them on getting them some ideas and activities and stuff for their 4 years, not just aiming at prom night, but giving them some more activities and things, some more ideas so they can have some fun, exciting these next 3.5 years here for them to move on. Thank everybody for coming out. Presentations, Mr. Brody giving us about our bond issue coming up. So just looking forward to working with everyone. Miss Janelle, I've been knowing you for years. I'm just proud of you in that position. Okay. You are so welcome, Miss Obi. Welcome again, and looking forward to all the marvelous things you do. And Mr. James, what'd you call him?
Mr. Viral.
Mr. Viral, Mr. Viral. I just love to hear how you're incorporating all students. This encompasses of everyone, and just making sure that their academics are there. And, you know, it's awesome to hear that and to keep our district moving. Just want to thank you to everybody, and looking forward to working with everyone. And welcome. You know, you done got thrown in. We done put you under the bus, so you're gonna get it. But welcome aboard. We got your back, girl.
All right. Trustee Powles.
I want to thank Dr. Edmondson and President Laster for putting so many students on our agenda and for presentations tonight. That's always a great meeting when we hear from our students, especially when they start off our meetings, so that hopefully that becomes the lens through which we have our discussions and make our decisions. Welcome, Trustee Kamal. It's good to have you here, and we're looking forward to working with you. I just wanted to bring up a couple training opportunities. MASB's Winter Institute is coming up. It's actually virtual this year. I don't have the dates with me, but everyone should have received an email. Trustee Kamal, if you're not yet on that, Eve can help you get on their email list so that you're notified of training events. And then also the National School Boards Association also has their Advocacy and Equity Institute coming up at the end of the month. And lastly, I do want to give a shout out to our new staff and the exciting things that are happening at Romulus. I'm really excited that we finally have the esports. So Adam, thank you for bringing that to our district, and welcome. And I'm really excited to hear about the inclusion. And I hope this is the first of many things that we're able to include all students in. And that's it.
Thank you. Vice President Davis.
Since it is a new year, I feel like I should say something. Wanted to say welcome to Trustee Kamal. You know, first meeting. I was nervous for mine. I'm sure you're nervous for yours, but you'll be just fine. We're here as a team to support each other, so if you need anything, we're always available. Ms. Obi, welcome to the district. Look forward to strengthening our athletic program. Ms. Edwards, congratulations on your promotion. I met Ms. Edwards back in 7th grade math. So if I'm ever wrong on my numbers, you know who to go to. No. She taught me well. She's a fantastic educator, and I can't wait to see where she takes this TLP department next. This is year 3 of 4 for my term.
Okay, no. Okay, I thought that this was my final year of my term because of something that Treasurer McCarthy said, but I guess I should have had Miss Edwards in 7th grade, and I would have known that I have a 4-year term, but I didn't, so, you know.
Math is just as fundamental as reading.
I'll take it.
So ever since I've come on the board, we've been rebuilding this district, thanks to the leadership of Dr. Edmondson and his cabinet. And tonight, I'm kind of touched to see all these administrators and staff who are so passionate about what they do, whether it's through what they teach or after-school programs. It's mind-blowing that after 2 years, we've gotten to a point where everybody's proud to be from Romulus. Everybody's proud of Romulus Community Schools. So I thank all of you who work in the district for everything that you do each and every day. And that's it.
Thank you, Vice President Davis. Before you go, I'm sorry, can I have you guys confidential papers? And I also forgot to acknowledge Trustee Rogers and Secretary Rogers and Trustee Kennard, they will represent the board on the bond committee. So just wanted to throw that out there as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Just a couple things. Sandy Tenney, OH. We got one more, baby. We got one more. That's it. We got one more. One more. One more. Stop hating. Stop hating. Next, couple of things. We'll be working on a new commercial. We have already identified there's no irony to it and there's no fix to it. But there's a student that's in our school district who speaks like this. He says, "Hello, Dr. E." He's just got the voice. So with his mother's permission, in February, we're going to take him where we go to work on some voiceovers so that he can start being the voice of our district. I'm one of them, but I would need a student to also be the voice of the district. We've identified him. We know who he is. We just want his mother to give us the permission to allow him to go with me and Mr. Ellison and go to the studio and do some voiceovers. But you're going to start seeing us pass the torch because we want to see kids start doing this, not me. We want the kids, because this might be something that he or anybody else could turn into something a little bit more lucrative, or maybe they become passionate about it. So you're going to be seeing that soon, because we already have the commercial. It's already done, but we're going to hold off on putting it out because I have to do that voiceover first in February, and we're taking that student with me to do it to see how it is so that we can train him on how to do the next one. So we'll be turning that over to this student. I'm very excited about that. Many of you have not heard about our wrestling team, have you? You probably haven't, but I can tell you this. We are very, very close to being acknowledged as all-state academically for our wrestling team. Something that's different for our wrestling team. We have more girls on the wrestling team than we do girls basketball. Something has happened beside the coach. It's the coach and it's the kids. The girls are buying in, and as the coach said, "Hey, Dr. E, they're more disciplined than the boys." I'm not surprised, not at all. So I'd like to, if I can work with the president, to get the wrestling team or the wrestling coach out there to talk about what's happening. There's a phenomenon that is absolutely happening, not only in this district but other places. So that's happening, and I want to be able to share that with you. I'm looking at Miss Jessie over there, and I can tell you, Miss Jessie, I have photos for the band just that are like this. But I went to Walgreens, and they said that they went through. Then when I got there, they said they didn't even know what I was talking about. So I called the national company, and they said there's an error, but you don't know it until you get there, even though it says confirmed. So I have some beautiful, beautiful pictures of the band that will be coming out. You'll see them just like this. They won't be here. They're going to be in your school, wherever your principal, and you decide that you want them. But we want to see our kids on display. Yes, Mr. Powles, you're in there too, because every band picture you're in there for whatever reason, because you're busy. You are band to me, so you'll be seeing those. Please don't be embarrassed, because they're nice pictures, and you work hard in that band, and you do very, very well. I know that. So expect them to be coming out. Some of them are from last year, though, because I can see the faces, who they are, that they're from last year. I don't have too many from this year. But I want to showcase as much as I can all the good work. If you come in this building, you'll see them here, see pictures back there, and you're going to see them at some of our schools, too. Middle school, I don't think we have any pictures of that, but you have to talk to this gentleman. And I want to acknowledge James Johnson publicly. You have done such a great job with helping us rebrand this district by being at all these events. You take all these pictures. You're so quiet about it. Your pictures are exceptional. They are exceptional, and I thank you for everything that you have done to help me try to move this district and my team. And the last thing is my team. I appreciate it. Today was a great day. It started out, but it ended on such a high note. I'm so excited about where we're going and what we're doing for this district. I just want to thank you. You've seen me at my extreme low, as I told you before, and you've seen me at some of my highs. But let's try to keep it here. But I'm a human being, and I need your support too, because there's going to be some lows that come. But I just thank you for all the work that you're doing. Janelle, I'm so excited about having you here too, about moving this district forward. Don't let anybody, and in the community, don't let anybody tell you that Romulus is going backwards, because we are not. The problems that we are having are problems that people have in the United States. And the last thing that I'm going to leave with, this isn't on a great note, but you should know this. In Wayne County, only second to the city of Detroit is Romulus in terms of students that get placed into foster care. That's huge. Next to Detroit, Romulus is number 2 in terms of students being placed into foster care, and then they usually leave and go to another city. So sometimes we don't know where our students are, and we're wondering, where are they? Because that's a big problem in our district. So some of the things aren't anything that I can do about it. But I'm going to try to tell you, I'm trying to do everything that I can with my team and the staff members and this Board of Education to turn this community around and make it a place, a destination district. And there's my microphone drop, and I'm going home. I'll be there in 17 minutes.
Well, I'll pick up the microphone because we're actually out of here before 8 o'clock. Thank you with presentations and all. Motion to adjourn.
Support.
All right. Aye.
All right. Oh,